Okay. Are we good? We should be good, guys. We should be good. Alright. Let's go. We should be fine. Where is the thing? Yes, we have this, we have that. And why don't we have other things? Oh, that's why. Put that here, put that there. That makes so much more sense. Allows us to do this, and we can do a couple of other things. We are going to talk about all the things that happen, and also we are going to be lubing some stabilizers, so it shouldn't take too long. We're just going to do what we did last time. Should be taking max an hour, assuming everything goes well. And knowing me, especially the last few weeks, nothing has been going well. Nothing has been going well. It's very bad. Very, very bad. Horror bad. Okay. Very bad. Horror bad. I hate it. Bad. Okay. What I am gonna do is everything's fine. Okay, now we're going through. Alright, so today we are lubing this guy. This is the Mark 65 from BoardSource, as you can see. It is a lovely looking keyboard. Ta-da! And I do have the split back, the space bars going on here. And I do have the split backspace. This is not the normal typical configuration, but I still have roughly the same amount of stabs to loop. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Normally you have 1, 2, 3, 4. But now we just have one less. So we're gonna give that a shot. Okay, but before that, let's talk about all the things that may or may not be happening in the current streaming environment. So, if you may or may not heard, there are people going on around an event, and that event was very popular amongst streamers. And a streamer was there for a meet and greet, only to be I think the technical word is assaulted, but I don't know what the legality of it is, so, you know, disclaimer. As far as the video shows, that's what happened. And, you know, props to the person still going on and doing other shows in the same venue for the same event. It's not the same, like, it's the same overall event, but there are smaller events happening throughout that larger event, right? So they still went ahead and did a show. They went through with it. And as far as I'm aware, everything went fine during that section. And this is not an issue that hasn't happened before, which is the sad part. And honestly, I think most of it is the onus of the event manager to put in proper security measures. Apparently, they've gotten bigger people who are in charge of security to take another look at it. However, it's a little too late, and honestly that's the reason I'm thinking of not streaming on specific platforms in order to do that, right? Because I don't really support the way they're doing things, and if this company is gonna treat their creators in a horrible manner at their own event, technically speaking, that is not something that is good to support. And honestly, I've also stopped support for, if you can see in the background there, I've stopped trying to support Pokemon as well. That one I can say out loud, because what's going on right now is the current situation. I don't really know what's happening in the current situation, other than chances are it has happened previously. It's just been dealt with in the back end, but now it is very, very public, and it's going to be relatively messy. So, and the way they were treated is that they were told that that person would be removed from the platform for 30 days. And I'm like, so you think that because they allegedly, right, assaulted a person or attempted to assault a person, they get banned for 30 days off that platform? Isn't that just a permaban at this point? That doesn't make any sense. Why would you not do that? But okay, we can talk about it after doing like some of the keyboard stuff. But holy jeez, I feel like as much as you have sentimental value, or I had sentimental value for stuff like Pokemon, as you can see in the back there, I honestly don't believe that it is worth going for, because like what I'm getting over here, like what, $50 a quarter? I don't even get that. I get just less. And most of it comes from a friend who's going like, oh, hey, you know what? Let me use my Prime. And I'm like, dude, you don't use it on somebody else. I don't need it. All right. Like, Jesus Christ. So we're gonna do that. We might not. And because of that, that platform, that is a streaming platform, will not get any streams tomorrow. In other words, I'm going to stream on other platforms instead of here. However, I am having issues with that platform only because they were kind of scummy in the past, mostly because they couldn't afford it. In other words, they had a lot of technical debt. And by technical debt, the technical debt is basically that they do know that it's a problem, but they don't have the technical ability to solve that problem. So you can throw money at these things. However, it still takes time, and it still takes testing, because users across platforms take time to figure out. You can't just go, all right, let's just slap it in there. It works. Call it a day. And apparently not. It doesn't work that way. People found workarounds. People found ways to go against the system. And you're like, right. Yeah, they were bound to do that because they're incentivized to do it, because it's easier for them to do it the way we don't intend, right? So now that platform has actually gone ahead and done a bunch of other things instead of doing that. It is kind of weird where they seem to be the platform of choice as of current, other than the bigger search engine version 1, right? Because, of course, I am going through multiple platforms right now, and currently it is only 2. Previously it was 3. I was trying to do 3 for the longest time. However, it kept breaking whenever I tried to do 3 different platforms simultaneously. So what I might have to do is go to 2 platforms, drop 1 to add the 3rd one. So you're basically on 3, minus 1. So I'm just gonna do that now, and unfortunately, that seems to be the best move I can come up with, right? Like, that's the only thing I can really do that kind of makes sense. You can't really do much in that case at all. So, no. I think we're gonna just stick with streaming on the SEO-based platform. And I say SEO-based, but let's be real, most of it is algorithm-based. And second of all, we are gonna stop streaming on the platform that tends to not really care. They are running on sentimentality, not entirely purely, but a lot of the things they do run on pure sentimentality. So we're gonna move away from that and move to those that are trying, even if they are relatively new in this place. So legacy platform, unfortunately, their legacy is being riddled with mired tradition of, how do I say it? It's not nepotism. What is it? Favoritism. Right, a favoritism and high amounts of bias. That's what it is. It's being mired by excessive amount of favoritism and bias. And in other words, by bias, I mean literally it's the same thing that happened on the Blizzard side of things. So unfortunately, nothing you can entirely do there, but hope for the best, and that's all you can do. Anyways, it's been a couple of minutes. We can talk about something else, but let's check out this keyboard. Mark 65 keyboard, as you can see. I was thinking of getting a gray pad. I really need a different pad over here because this is not great. Like the Orbit Key desk pad, don't buy it. Genuinely do not buy it. It is very bad. Like literally, it's been a month and it's still, you can probably see it, right? It's still not shaped properly, right? Like, it's not shaped properly. I had to put a desk mat underneath this desk mat in order to stop it from moving. And it's not, and it's still moving. Like, boom, there, that's the proper way it's supposed to be. So, we're gonna stop that. We're not gonna do that anymore. So, we are then going to check out how this sounds. So, this is the Mark 65 with JMK Polybius keycaps, and we have Telios switches in it, I think. Unless they're just light Zelios. I think they're light Zelios, sorry, don't get me wrong. They are Telios, they are actual Telios switches, right? So we're gonna put that there, and we're gonna give this a shot, alright? Boom. Alright, let's give this a go. So push this down, hit back. Boom. Horrible count or words per minute. But that is the Mark 65. It isn't too bad. It is on the higher pitched end, especially on the sides here. But the problem with this is literally, again, the stabilizers, as you can hear. I don't think it is. Like, for this, the enter is ticking. This is the biggest problem, but this is fine. I think these are different switches by the sound of them, but I could be wrong. I am entirely wrong, but these are Duroc stabilizers by the look of it. These look like the V2s. Huh, weird. Didn't think that would be the case, but that is seemingly the case. So I cannot lube the stabilizers with it built, so we're gonna do that. But well, before we do that, let's read this here. Okay, and I don't care. This is from In the Heat of the Night. In the Heat of the Night. I think this is a song. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. I don't care what he is. If it wasn't for him, your impartial chief of police would still have the wrong man behind bars. Perfect! Exactly what we were talking about. I don't care what he is. If it wasn't for him, your impartial chief of police would still have the wrong man behind bars. I don't care what he is. It's saying that I don't care about who helped me. That person helped me, whether they be some kind of crazy person and or someone of general distrust, right? If it wasn't for him, your impartial chief of police would still have the wrong man behind bars. Impartial. In other words, you don't give into you don't discriminate in general, right? If it wasn't for him, your impartial chief of police would still have the wrong man behind bars. And that seems to be the case right now. But this time, with depending on the platform, they don't even really put them behind bars. They go like, go to the detention cell, sir. And they don't even do anything about it. Then that's what it seems to be the case right now. Unfortunately. So it's like, oh well. I want that officer given a free hand, right? Otherwise, I will pack up my husband's engineers and leave you to yourselves. This is what we probably should do. Otherwise, I want that officer given a free hand. So you want that officer to give him some help to make sure he does his job correctly. And then otherwise, I will pack up my husband's engineers and leave you to yourselves. I will take what I can take and leave you to rot where you are. Basically, that's what it is. And the saying, husbands engineers. That is, I will take what matters to you and what makes you very useful and leave you to deal with it yourself. Because you are not competent, or they don't believe that you are competent enough to do that. All right. So that's what it is. That's what it is. Okay. But speaking of which, I don't need this. I was shocked that these were the Telios because I remember them being a little weird. I guess if I just use them enough or just leave them for long enough, the lube settles really well. Like, for example, this spacebar. That's pretty good. These are pretty good. This is the only one that's bad. Everything else is fine. So I might not even lube that one. I'll just probably just do this one. And to do that, we have to take apart the board. Unfortunately, with stuff like polycarbonate, as you can see, this looks lovely. This has LEDs underneath, as you can see. They aren't that bright. However, they are really well done. So, for example, right now, I added a little bit of a lift. So you can probably see. Oh, how do I do this? Yes, there we go. There is a very small leg here, or a foot. And then I added right at the end my own feet. And the reason for that is because it gives it a slight typing angle. It's very slight, but it is there. So this is a flat keyboard. As you can see, it is straight. There is no curvature to it whatsoever. There's no tilt. Yeah, there's no tilt. So there is no degrees of tilt. It is literally as straight as can be, unfortunately. And a lot of people say this is way better for you because you don't have to do this every time you type. But here's the thing. The tilt actually helps with hover typing. This helps if you put your wrists down on a palm rest. So if I bring out a palm rest, give me one sec. Let's get a bright one. What's this one? This one. Woo, palm rest. Woo, dusty palm rest. Woo. All right. So good old palm rest from a company that I do not want to support. But if you are typing in this manner, absolutely, that's great. This flat makes sense. You are hover typing, tilt makes more sense. And you might think, why? It's because you go up and down. So literally, just doing this here makes it a little easier. But it's dependent on the angle of where your hands are at, not its relative position. So this, very bad. Regardless, it is very bad. This, much better. Like just having straight hands. So just to demonstrate, I guess. Table, boom, bad, right? When you hover type, it's like this, right? So you still, as you can see, there's still a curvature to the hand, but when you go up and press down, see, up, up and down, it makes it closer. That way you don't have to strain as much, so you don't have to move your arm. But that's the difference there, okay? So we're gonna give that a go. Ooh, that kind of looks nice. There's too much red in it. That is literally my palm. I'm not even joking. That is that is my palm. Oh my god, that is my palm. Same over here. Woo! Damn, I didn't think I would eat into the wood that much. Jesus Christ. That is some patina. Anyways. Let's actually get this board apart before we go too crazy. Before we do go too crazy here. Okay. But yeah, speaking of the current platforms that are available, now there are literally very few platforms available. And honestly, some of the platforms are very hyper specific. For example, if you go into a lot of the social media space, there is places, for example, one of the places I am is a site that only has art stuff. And basically, if you took if you're on, let's say, oh, that is literally the smallest one I have. Is it the little smallest one I have? There's no way. That's not it. I'm pretty sure I had the exact sizing for this guy at one point. Oh, I do. There it is. Oh, I lied. I do not have the exact sizing for this guy. What the hell? I don't? Oh, that's weird. I was pretty sure I did. Okay. So I don't. I'm gonna have to pull it out. But yes, in terms of platforms, every platform is different. I was talking about an art platform where it was literally art, and I by art I mean art, and there is no NSFW stuff there. It is just straight up. No, you here you go. It is all art, and most of them, because they're all art, almost all of them are poof, really good. There is no one that is effectively bad, and by effectively bad I mean like bad at all. Right? Like it's not. There's no. I think we are exactly in. I think that's it. I think I just lucked out and got the exact one I needed. I did. It's literally the exact size. What in the hell? Yeah, there is literally almost no wiggle room. That is crazy. All right. So these are the back ones. So we're just going to put them there. And then we'll do the bottom ones. All right. So yes, I was talking about the platforms. The platforms themselves are fairly typical. You know, you have your feeds. It's all algorithmic, yada yada yada. But this one does not have any algorithmic, which is very bad. And you would think, oh, there's no algorithm. That means it's based off of the merit of the people that are going through, and you'd be correct. And that poses a lot of problems, because if you think about it, how? How do you find anyone new in a platform that doesn't show you anything new? It just shows you everything. Oh no, are these the same length? These look like the same length. It just shows you everything the same way. So if you have it in the feed, it's gonna be like, oh, there's no algorithm. You have to search for everything. Because I was about to say, oh, let's say you were looking for XYZ. No, you have to search for a specific art style. For example, I personally like photography. So to find photographers, I have to look for people that do photography and then hope they repost other things. So a lot of it becomes reposts of a lot of other people. And you would think, oh my god, that's really awesome. And then you would realize it means you have to do all of the work to find people you like by yourself. And a lot of people do not like to do this because they are used to just being fed information. Me included. I would rather just be fed the information. And unfortunately, sometimes that information is a little bit, so to speak, sour. So, unfortunately, so as you can see, the board is in 3 pieces. It does come in 3 pieces. There is a modification I can do, which I will not be doing today. I will not be doing. Okay, no issues. No issues. It's just this guy. Yeah, people like to be, quote-unquote, spoon-fed, effectively. They don't want to do work when they don't have to. And that's the premise of most types of social media stuff. Because if you think about it... Oh, I did the wrong way, didn't I? Oh, okay, we can do both. We can do it from both ways. That's fine. And... boop. Oh... and 3. So 1, 2, 2 and 3. Okay, so that we are just going to fix up that section. I don't hear any ticking. Just pulling it out. Boom. Okay, so we're gonna grab the loop kit. Let me grab the loop kit. Let me grab the loop kit. All right. Okay. Boom. All right, so we got that. We clean most of it off. Let's actually clean the sides a little bit here, because as you can see, that is kind of filthy. That is kind of filthy. So I don't necessarily want to put that back without doing at least a good little sweep there. So reset it a little bit. Because normally with these things, you end up not cleaning them for a long time. So like for me, it takes about a month or two before I return back to a board. Especially since I'm planning to have at least 12 custom keyboards. So it's gonna be a little bit much. I might take a look at some of the pre-builts, but there are way too many pre-builts and they cost way too much for being just a pre-built. Because I would rather have a really good looking custom than a pre-built that has all of the gaming functions. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of awesome gaming functions, especially on the, unfortunately, Logitech boards. And a lot of it has just to do with software. And if some of these companies would just figure out the software, they would probably be fine. Okay. Yeah, it's not even ticking in there. So what's going on? Maybe just a slight extra lube? So we might just have to do a relube. There isn't much in there. So that is the case. Right? Like there doesn't seem to be anything in particular. It's nothing wrong with it looking. So we're just gonna relube it in general. There isn't much that we can do, unfortunately. So we're just gonna do that. Ooh. Can we have... No, we cannot use this one. We're gonna use the other one. The other one is where we have an excessive amount... Oh, man. Sealed for your protection. Oh, man. Sealed for your protection. Just like the events this weekend, it was sealed for the talent's protection by a rope and no security. Woo! For your protection, sir, woman, blah, 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 etc. So much protection. An amazing amount of protection. So much protection that the talent had to pay for themselves, which is fine. Like, don't get me wrong. They're entitled to that, having it for themselves, and being able to do so is also its own type of privilege, because damn, if you've heard some of the amounts they said they were spending just to make sure that there was security, whoo, that is not something I'd like to pay, personally speaking. I like these clear ones because you can see how much lube you're putting in into the stabilizer, versus the unclear ones where you kind of have to guesstimate what you're putting in. This one you kind of just know because you can see it come out and you're like, oh, I'm putting a decent amount in, so maybe we should stop that and put less, right? So give that a go. Give it a little bit of a shake here. We're gonna put back the switch and we're gonna test it out. Now it's just a switch problem. Yeah, that's just a switch problem, the tinging. Yeah, that's fairly even across the board. So literally that was it. That's all I had to do. That is it. We're gonna do the normal thing. We're gonna let it settle a little bit. So we're gonna just do that. And then underneath, just hold it upside down and just keep tapping it. Holding it down and just, you know, guitar hearing your way in there. It's very good practice. Yeah, just go for it. Yeah. And hopefully it's still fine, so we're gonna give it a go here. All right, left to right, it's fine. So we can just go back and put these back, so to speak, and we should be good. Up. There we go. Oh, nope, missed. I can even type like this, it'll be fine. Alright, let us put all of this back together. Let's see, is there any dust and stuff in here? Looks like we did catch a little bit of dust, so we're just going to clean it off. This is white out at this point. Honestly, sometimes I'm envious of, you know, the bigger keyboard streamers because they don't have to clean off a lot of boards. Most of the boards they have are like brand new from the box, and I'm sitting here opening and closing. Yo, Lander! What does the middle spacebar do? For me, the middle spacebar is function. So the way I use it, right, because I don't have the F row, I would just press function and then use that to get to the F row. So function F row, or from here function F row. That's what I use that for. So function, sometimes I do function and play pause over here on the right hand side, JKL. Yeah, so similar to like most editing suites. So this is previous, J is previous, L would be next, and then K would be play pause. So that's what I normally use it for, right? And other functions as well if there is something I need to reach in the keyboard. Right? So that's what the middle spacebar does. Also, I have changed it to be, how do I say it? I've changed it so that it would be, the left spacebar is actually backspace. So it is relatively difficult to use if you have never used a keyboard in that manner, unfortunately. There we go. We're gonna keep that in there. And here comes the slightly difficult part of putting it together. There we are. Oh, that wasn't loosened. Now we're in tighten, and hopefully we can get this. Okay, so if I remember correctly, this one has to catch first. Okay, come on. There we go. Finish making another one this weekend. You like the more unique layouts. 36 key keyboard as well? Holy moly. 36, that's the 40%. So basically you just have mostly the base alphas and then a few of the other keys, right? Damn. Okay, that stuff, I wish I could do that stuff. I don't have one, so I kind of want to make one myself, but I haven't found one that makes sense. Alpha and the 3 thumb keys on each hand. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Damn. Oh, looks like ads are running. I don't know if you have ads or if you're on Prime there. But normally, we just pause the stream during these times. But for this, we are just going to be taking Twitch's money. Alright, so let me just push this in. Okay. Ad hasn't started for you yet? Okay. Okay. That's fine. It says on my end that there is one, so... I guess you got lucky. Got real lucky there. Okay. I'll put this back. So I'm just going to put in the screws lightly because I need to move, or... Ooh, I need to be able to move the PCB while it's still in the case. Simply because... this PCB is kind of free floating. It is what I think it's called gasket mount. So, because you have that, top mount, sorry. It's top mount. Let me make sure that the margins are correct. A little low. So we want to push it a little here. Why is that? No, none of this is tight. Oh, take all that money. Woo! Hell yeah. Take money where you can get it. Take money where you can get it. Assuming you can get it legally. Please take your money legally. Because it's not worth being chased by the cops and or the IRS. So, I say IRS, but it's CRA over here in Canada. Because Canadian. Yeah. Canada. Yeah, no one messes with any of the tax people. Like, don't get me wrong. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Most people just don't mess with the tax people because if you are the tax man, you have extra powers to just not be screwed with. So let's just do that. Don't worry. They just paid. They want so much money. Ooh, don't get me wrong. I literally got a huge like in comparison to what I was being paid before, I got a huge raise, so to speak. Not a huge raise. Like I didn't get a raise. I just changed jobs, which means I have more money in this job than the last job, which means now I have to pay more taxes. Yay! So amazing. So amazing. Oh well. At least you make more money. Or so I think. Although I do have to buy a lot of equipment, weirdly enough, for this job. That looks like it is. Oh man, it feels tilted. It feels a little tilted. Oh no, they won't. But yes, I feel you. Like come tax season, I am so screwed. I know with most freelancers, around this time would be their tax season, and for most people, it would be around spring, April time instead. So it is what it is. Unfortunately, I am one of those few who, you know, I'm very the type of job I do about a lot of media production, basically. So I create multiple forms of media and push it through for a company. Yeah. So that is effectively what I do. The stuff that I do ranges from literally photographs all the way to written, all the way to video. So I do everything under the sun for the most part, right? I think the only one I don't really do is email. Mostly because I don't like it, but I still have to, right? But I normally try to push it off to other people because I'm like, can someone else do this for me, please and thank you? But apparently no, it's not allowed. Not allowed. I'm missing a screw. I am missing a screw. What? What? I swear. Where would it be? Okay. Missing a screw. Okay. Okay, actually that's pretty even. I'm not gonna lie. The gap is pretty slightly tilted to the right. Okay. But no, where is the last screw? Screw? God damn it. It's a black screw on a black mat. How wonderful, so to speak. That is not good. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Oh, found it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm gonna put this in. There we go. Literally, that happened to me today. I was looking for a specific product at the moment, and I literally looked around, spent 5 minutes looking for it, asked somebody, went, have you seen this product? And they went, And they looked around, and I kid you not, they looked at, and then moved the thing, and then the product was there. And I go, I literally looked at that spot, and I did not find it. I am a fool. I am a fool. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Okay, there we go. I'm a fool, I'm a fool. Damn, not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. Alright. Let's see. You gotta plug this in. Alright. And there we go. Ta-da! Yeah. What's your craziest keyboard? Unfortunately, my craziest keyboard, this is the second most craziest. The third most craziest would be the Neo Ergo, which I have right here. And the most craziest, unfortunately, is at work. So Neo Ergo, by crazy, I mean like, this is kind of, right, a tinted Alice layout. And then this is the reason this gets second place is because it can do this despite being a regular keyboard. This is like, oh, you kind of just expect that because it's an Alice keyboard, so you expect the space bars. And I like this a lot better because the function key is in the middle. It's getting there for ergonomics. Yes, it is mostly the ergo. So it is more ergonomical, but the most craziest keyboard I would actually have would be another ergo. So it is the Alice Duo from QWERTY Keys. You have to try an ortho board at some point. Yes, that is one of the things I want to try. So one of the things I want to try is ortho. Ortho split to different keyboards, 40% as well. And that's literally it for most craziest keyboards, right? Like, other than that, I don't know what would be crazier. A touch keyboard, which, let's just be real, that's just a mobile phone at this point. Maybe. So kind of what I'm typing on right now. Yeah, basically, that's what... I just want to try a bunch of keyboards because I've tried a bunch of them. Touch, disgusting. Yeah, it's not as bad as you think. It's just really horrible because I remember trying it on like a flat surface, for example, like this is like... That's how it feels. I literally feel like just go, like pretend you have a keyboard underneath your hands and just go for it. And that's literally how it feels. But preferably you do it on a hard surface. So it's like, yeah, see, like, see, that feels wrong by itself. Like, wait. I like thinking because there's nothing actually there. But effectively, that's how it feels. Just anywhere on the table, that's what it is. I think I tried, there was like a laser one that kind of pointed downwards. It was kind of inaccurate, if I remember correctly. It was kind of inaccurate, and at the time, I was just doing this. And it was already inaccurate. I was already hunting and pecking, so I wasn't exactly doing the most complex, like, shift, that, and then hitting keys at over 50 words per minute. I was literally at 40 to 30 going... So yeah, that is gonna be the case. All right, so let us actually check out this this quote, and we're going to be doing, again, this is the Mark 65 from BoardSource. This is the GMK Polybius keycap set, and I believe this is the split spacebar coming from the, what's it called? The GMK Civilization kit. Choco Noob! Yo, yo, yo! I am about to type on a keyboard, and as you can see, there is a quote on the screen, which will be what I will be typing. Yeah, and then we'll talk about the keyboard, how it feels, and how it's better now. Although I will admit, it won't really change the typing test because all I did was lube the enter key, which means I'm not gonna hit it anyways, so it's like, oh no, well... So typing test from earlier is gonna practically sound the same. I don't think it's gonna be any different. You must be at least 100 word per minute kind of guy. No, here's the crazy part. I've been typing for such a long time, and I've been trying to get my words per minute up, and the sad part, despite my job requiring me to type constantly, I am still... if I concentrate and go really hard, I can max out at 99. Like, I swear to God, most of the times when I type and I test my words per minute and I go really fast, 99. It's like, you can't. At least it's not 67. Sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes it's 67. You're at a comfortable 80. 100 to 110 if a good run. Well, at least you hit the 3-digit mark. Like, for some reason, I cannot hit the 3-digit mark. I would hit so close. I'd be like a 99. At 99 is my cap. Like, literally, I cannot get past the triple-digit mark. It is hilarious. The amount of times I get there to 99, I'm like, God damn it. But no, I am over 50 is my general, like at a bad pace is like 55 or so. On a good pace, it's going to be around 80 to 90. My regular is somewhere around 70. Yeah. Okay. But let's type. Let's actually check out. So we're going to put away the music. We're going to give it a go. Oh my god. And see what we actually get up to here. All right. Let's see. Again, this is the Mark 65 from BoardSource, GMK Polybius keycaps with the space bars, also from a GMK set, this time Civilizations. Just to break up the board a little bit. Only when you type highly technical terms, I'm sure. No, like this is regular stuff and I still lose my mind. All right, let's give this a go. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, just fix your touch. Relearn to use all your fingers. You'll hit 100 easy. Yeah, easy for you to say. Let me just relearn touch typing. I did have to relearn how to type because this is how I used to type. Like 2 fingers. 3 if I had to shift. If you... Because the weird part about my touch typing is apparently I have a habit that comes from a lot of laptop use. So the habit is this from a lot of laptop use. The habit from a lot of laptop use is just doing this. Because what happens is sometimes you would hit this, you would hit the period, spacebar, and then start mousing around. Then change your layout to Colmac. No. So you'll be forced to relearn. Oh, that will solve everything. Let me just have my words per minute drop to a lovingly nice 25. Yeah. So no. I'm probably going to have to go into what's it called? Just slowly typing and then making proper movements. For example, you can see here, right, my words per minute. There's a lot of issues happening, and every time I get a high score, which is like 99, unfortunately, it's literally when I just go through and go. And then I'm not making a single mistake. Every time I make a mistake, that's what happens. That is it. So that's how I sound. Like if you're thinking, how do I sound when I am pure focus? Just... Ta-da! Yeah, mistakes do make me a lot slower. So, unfortunately, bad day, so 50 to 60. So, I'm not doing too hot today in general. I kid you not, I was doing a bunch of work and then I had to redo it because I realized there was a mistake, despite me checking to see if the mistake was there, only for later for me to hit a key that shifted things around just enough to make it look like everything is fine. And then when you look at the end product, you go, there's something wrong here. And then I had to fix the entire thing again. And this project has taken me so long that it is unbelievable that I took this long to finish it. You know what I mean? It is just like, how did you screw up so bad? But that's been going on for about 2 weeks. So I've just had to go back to my old habit of writing things down, and I do a lot of things analog style. So, for example, you probably see some of the pens over here. I am kind of like a pen type of connoisseur guy, right? Oh, sorry. Right, so that is the Monteverdi Ritma. We have this guy. So this is the Lamy Studio, right? And these are, as you could probably, ooh, there we go. Some really nice fountain pens right there. You got the Viper Diplomat. Ooh, look at that. This is one of the hooded ones. Come on, focus. Ooh, there we go. Yeah. Someone's balling with all the ballpoints. Oh, they're not ballpoints. They're not ballpoints. So Faber-Castell. Definitely not a ballpoint. Oh, where's the minimum focus distance? Right there. Ta-da. Not a ballpoint. This is not Ambition. This is... I forgot what this is called. I just like the Ambition series, but this is close to the Ambition series. I forget what it... Faber-Castell... It's not Ambition. Because this is also not an Ambition. Boom. As you can see, all of those things. So now, I do like analog things. I even have, all to the point that I have a lot of Faber-Castells. But if you want ballpoints, I got ballpoints. These are all the Sarasa from Zebra. These are the vintage colors. Where's the Nano? That is a Nano. All right. So everything from, we got purple. You got camel, which is like a burnt orange. We get maroon red. Oh, that is not very maroon red. Yeah, so kind of a maroonish red. That's way too light. For the camera. We have a lovely cool gray. We have a vintage brown. Vintage brown. Woo! Vintage brown. And we have a green. Damn, look at that. But yeah, so we have a bunch of these things. And I normally use it to do the journal stuff, which is not a stream thing, but... and then we have some of the ballpoints, highlighters with the same colorations. You know, we got lavender, or neon lavender. We got neon green. We got matte red. We got camel, and we got gray. The only thing I'm missing is, I think, is a brown. Oh, I forgot to buy the brown. Ah, jeez. Well, all right, whatever. Anyways. All right, let's talk about the source here. Oh, let's talk about the keyboard. Oh, my bad. Keyboard. So, keyboard, no change, obviously. I do like it. It is more mid-focused, as you can hear. It is more of a mid-focus keyboard. It's not very talky, so it's not a deep-sounding keyboard. It's not very loud either. The spacebar is a little shaky, but it is very stable. In other words, there's no variation. Yeah, so going across it, there's no variation. And that's good. If there is variation, it's very small, probably max 2 dB. And by max 2 dB, 2 decibels is the bare minimum before a person starts to notice that there is a difference in the volume of a sound, or at least most sounds, because that depends on where in the frequency range you might hear the sound. So sometimes, let's say bass, it's very hard to notice. Very hard to notice what that is. Okay, let's plug this back in. All right, and there's the Mark 65, and it's absolutely lovely. So let's go and talk about the thing we just typed, which is from Joan of Arcadia, right? So I think this is a historical figure, and I do not think that this is going to be from kind of like the Fate series, where like Joan of Arcadia from the Fate series. No, they would probably put Fate of some sort. But let's see what they say. They say, I put a lot of thought into the universe. Came up with the rules. It sets a bad example if I break them. Not to mention, shows favoritism. Why should one person get a miracle and not everybody else? Can you imagine the confusion? It's better when we all abide by the rules. I put a lot of thought into the universe. Okay, cool. This assumes that there is a God. So let's say that there is a God. Unfortunately, I do not believe in that. However, if it does, if it's true, it's true. I can't do anything about it. Came up with the rules. So they set up the laws of the universe, right? It sets a bad example if I break them. Not to mention, shows favoritism. Let's see. I don't know why, but oh, this passage was heavier than when it first appeared, right? It is. It sets a bad example if I break them, not to mention shows favoritism. Guess what happened? Recently, a lot of favoritism was happening recently. So, yes, so it shows favoritism. So you have to have an even keel with the rules that you set. You can't just be like, you're fine, you get a 30-day ban, you don't get banned, you say that someone's fat, you don't, you get banned almost permanently. The other person says you're things that I can't even say, that didn't get hired for your dream job. I blame favoritism. You're not entirely wrong. They probably had a favorite candidate. Yes, that is how that tends to go, unfortunately, right? And it doesn't help that, for example, when you have friends or employees that recommend their friends and that they believe is correct, chances are it's easier because if you think about it, that person probably knows that other person's skill set and that they would fit for the job. The problem becomes when they're not fit for the job, but they recommend them anyway. So that's the bad type of nepotism. The good type of nepotism is when they go, or favoritism, so to speak, is when they go, look, I know that you guys are friends. I know you guys are capable. However, we have to make sure we go through the due process and vet them to make sure that they know what they're doing, and hiring them for the job is good. Yeah. Having a messy home can count as a skill set, I guess. Yes. What is it called? I have the ability to locate issues and solve them. The issue being that I don't know where that item is in my house, but I can solve the mystery of where it is. Say that don't say that part out loud in the interview, but you definitely have a skill set of being able to find and solve problems. Indeed. Oh my god. But yes, favoritism, not the best. Works out sometimes if it is based off of merit. Fine. Why should one person get a miracle and not everybody else? Again, it's because everybody else is, how do I say it? Everybody else will find it unfair. So, for example, there's the whole Thanos thing that happened in the MCU. The reason why Thanos failed isn't because he won. Thanos failed because everyone else hated that a bunch of people went missing. Let's just say. Because they were unfairly treated. They think it's unfair that some people get to live, other people don't get to live. No one really knows why there's merit to that. And the people who remember that they were the lucky ones, that is why is a thing. Because people hate it when people are getting things without seeming merit, right? It doesn't feel like there is like an actual thing that they should be getting these rewards for, right? Can you imagine the confusion? Yes, exactly. And there's no rule to say why that happened. You didn't know? If you didn't know about Thanos, there was this guy. He was called Thanos. Can you imagine the confusion? Yeah, it will cause a lot of confusion. it's better when we all abide by the rules. In general, yes, it's better when you abide by the rules. But if the rules no longer serve you, that's when you get rid of the rules, right? That's how it works. Yeah. I didn't know Knock is willing to partake in philosophical discussion. Accidentally pinky enter key. I see. I see. Yeah, no, this is technically all I do. This is all I do on most streams on Monday. I do the keyboard streams, and then I take whatever quote that has been given to me and say and pretend that I know what I'm doing and give quote unquote life advice or philosophical discussion. I don't know. I'm just trying to pad and entertain people here. That's basically all I'm doing. And in the attempt to pad and or entertain people, I get to fix my keyboard and not feel like I'm not being productive. The reason I stream is to feel like I'm being productive by doing the things I wanted to do anyway. That's literally it. It is a type of ridiculous that is just I just need a justification to do the things that I'm doing. That is literally it. Are you not entertained? And then Thanos yeeted Gladiator out of the universe. It did. Oh my god. Oh jeez. Ad starts in 12 seconds, by the way. So we're gonna do that. I think it is. Oh, I have 15 more minutes. That's awesome. That is awesome. We can do another run here, and we can compare it to. I guess we can compare it to the Neo Ergo. I do have the Ergo here, so we might as well give it a go. Give it a little bit of a clean. There's a little bit of dust. I do not know what is kicking up the dust in my room here, but a lot of the times I do find that there is some weird black dust that settles in the room, and I literally have 2 air purifiers trying to clean the room, and yet we do get that. All right, so we're gonna give the Neo Ergo up for a comparison. So as you can see here, so this is going to be the Neo Ergo, and this is the Mark 65. So one of the things I don't like about the Neo Ergo is the placement of the function key, which is right here in this corner. So I like the middle function key. I do wish there was a function key right here instead of the right hand side. Don't get me wrong, this looks much better. It looks much cleaner. Some people put the function key on the left B if they don't use left B. Unfortunately, B is right in the center of the keyboard, which means it gets split into 2, and a lot of people use one or the other. And the Y key is the same. Honestly, I wish people would put the Y key in there. I prefer the Y key, don't get me wrong. I wish it was like in there. I do want the Y key over here. Okay, there you go. Break ends in a minute. I'm gonna get some water, and I'll be right back after the ads. Woo. Alrighty. Gotta milk the ad rev. Yeah, unfortunately, it's one of those things where you go, alright, there's an ad revenue kind of thing going on. Part of it is milking the ad rev. The other part of it is I can't stop it. Like, there's no option to not do it. You know what I mean? Because what I have is the option to, is snooze for the ad rev. The ad rev by itself, what it does is, if I hit snooze, which delays it by about 5 minutes, it will give me a maximum of 3. And when I do that, I need to hit, let's say, 3 ads will give me 1 more snooze, which means I can't stop it forever. So I can keep hitting the button, but it'll happen slowly, and I don't get them back until 3 ads play anyway. So I'd rather hit the snooze button when it makes the most sense. Like, there, we could just take in a break, and that's fine. So we just leave it as is and be like, all right, there you go. All right, so here is the Neo Ergo. Woohoo, Neo Ergo. The Neo Ergo is an Alice style keyboard instead of this guy. This guy, regular 65, so Alice style 65% layout. The weird part is, I think that's part of the issues I'm having with this, is because I'm reaching slightly farther to hit the shift button for the up and down keys. Here is in between the shift. The shift is on the right side here. Yeah. Windows updates can't avoid forever. Speaking of Windows updates, I may or may not need to move it to 11. And also, I'm going to be using Arch Linux. And also, I'm going to then be creating and installing, guess what? TrueNAS on one of my spare computers. And by one of my spare computers, I mean a computer that is basically a potato if I do anything else on it. Yeah. So yes, I will be making myself a NAS eventually. Eventually. All right, let's give this a go, but this time on the Neo Ergo. That way you guys can compare between this. So I'm gonna just press this a little bit so you guys can hear it. Put this up, put this over here, and go. So that's what it sounds like. And now we are on the Neo Ergo with GMK Civilization with Infinity Cabernet Bees and the GMK Terror below for the spacebar. Ta-da! Okay. All right. And these are bad seat tactiles underneath them, so they are a poppy type of switch. All right, let's give this a go. Ooh. Boom! Right at the 75 words per minute mark. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! 75 words per minute. Let's go. Almost 76, but we're good. We're good. We are freaking good. All right there. Oh my god. Yes. All right. Inching your way towards the 99. Yes. Unfortunately, the 99s are on good days. On a bad day, this is a good run. This is a good run on a bad day. Unfortunately, so bad. But less errors, which is why the words per minute are much higher. But yes, as you heard there, it is much poppier, and it's much louder. Oh, Jesus Christ. Boom. All right, again, that was the Neo Ergo. The foam plates are all installed, so it is more of a foamy build foam tends to remove a lot of the higher pitch sounds, and I personally prefer that. Right. So my preference is: are you popping popcorn there? Yes, that's how it sounds like. It's like a popping popcorn kind of sound, right? Except, you know, a little more treble frequency coming in. Yeah. Ta-da! So yeah, that is the Neo Ergo. So as you can tell, that was a much different sound profile than this guy here, which is right. Boom. So unfortunately, I do like that slightly better, but the spacebar isn't quite where I want it to be. I might swap the spacebar to something a little higher pitch to make more sense. Yeah. So actually, we'll do that next. Right. Okay, so let's talk about this quote from the 80s. And this is from the 80s, where we did a lot, and by I mean a lot of technological advancements. So, quote is, and this is it. This is a portable cellular phone. You'll be able to take this to any American city and call virtually any place in the world. And its maker, Motorola, says a smaller version than this will be on the market next year. Woo! Can you imagine that back in the day, you don't get from, right, like this to this, and you're like, improvement! Back in the day, you had phones that were quite literally this size. Like, this is your regular size. Like, 2 to 4 finger widths that you carried in a briefcase. And you'd be like, yeah. Right? You'd be like, yeah. Goddamn. Meanwhile, now, like, look at how thin the phones are right now, right? Like, it's so thin. Well, I can tell you're also anti-Apple fanboy. What do you mean? This is literally, what do you mean anti-Apple fanboy? I am a tech enthusiast, sir, which means I have both. If you didn't realize, what is on the right? I have both. I also have matte screens on both of them too. Like, no, we're good. Ooh, see? Yeah, matte screens. Same with this guy. Oh, let's make sure. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, matte screens on both of them. Double tech agent at his finest. There you go. But yeah, no, I am the type of person who, unfortunately, I like a lot of tech. I like a lot of keyboards. I like a lot of analog stuff. And if you didn't know, I'm like the type of person who would spend like $40 on a singular notebook. And I mean a notebook. I literally have... Do I have it on? It actually is where I thought it would be. I literally have... I'm going to show this stinking thing. Boom. You see this? Do you see this? This is made out of real leather. And that is a notebook with ink swatches. That notebook cost me $20 by itself. That's not including the leather case. It's not even... All they see are empty pages. Yeah, because I haven't filled that one out yet, okay? I'd show you the work one, but that's for work. Let me just leak all my work things. So yeah, that is the home swatch one. I don't know what else to do when you're featuring the next Death Note. Hey, look. Yo, honestly, I mean, you take that, you put that through, you give it a go. That's a... Would you buy this Death Note? Like, if it was and there was like Death Note right on it. Like, look at that. Double-sided. You can actually, depending on the type of pants you have, you can put it... If you have an Iron Heart, like, biker pant, you can just put it in the back. In the back. Sign me up! Let's go. But yes, those are expensive things. Oh, I have a new memo sign, my spare memo sign, right? So these are also 20 bucks by themselves. So this is an A6 ring bound notebook, and literally it's a Marmon memo sign. So as you can see, A6. So this is 80 sheets, and this is my spare one. So I like it because of its layout. So you have the date over here, and then you can title it over here, and it's like for the day. So what you can do, you can either have check marks on the left and or right side to say that you're doing something. For example, it's important, has to be done today, and then you have a check mark to say yes, you did it today, and then you have lines for it. Or you can do sometimes what I do what is called time blocking and time checking. So basically, I started a task, and I put it on the left hand side here, the time I started the task, what task I'm starting, and then I put the time again, and when I finish the task, I put a space, and then I put the time again for the next task, and on and on and on and on it goes. And the thing is, these are single-sided, so it's a blank sheet on one side, and you can use it just like this, like just like that. You do not have to have it open to use the entirety of the notebook, right? And that's what I like about this specific notebook. And not only that, it is fountain pen friendly, which means I don't have to worry about bleed through with fountain pens. So I can just write on it and it won't bleed to the other side. Because when you buy cheap notebooks, they don't press the paper properly, and they also don't coat the paper in a I forget what it's called, but there's a coating on these types of papers that allows the ink to sit on top but still etch itself just on the top layer. Yeah. Ta-da! Notebooks! Just talk about notebooks for 5 minutes. But yes, that is the innovations we've seen in the paper realm and stuff. So unfortunately for me, that is going to be the case. Way too many things, right? Like I showed you a bunch of fountain pens, and heck, the technology and pencils have come really far. This is like the Kuratoga. This is not the advanced, is it? No, this is the Uni Kuratoga. Oh Jesus Christ! Why did I do that? Is this from Muji? No, none of this is from Muji, sadly. Some of the stuff from Muji is not bad. The problem is with Muji, their paper, it's prone to bleeding and feathering. So bleeding and feathering, bleeding is when you take ink from one page and it bleeds through the page. Feathering is why a lot of paper like that one has a coating, so it allows you to etch the ink on top of the paper. The feathering is what happens is, the ink will go onto the page, but because the page is made out of fibers, it makes the ink spread out. But it spreads out in like thin lines, kind of like a feather. That's why they call it feathering. Yeah. So, unfortunately, Muji's stuff, they don't do a lot of bleed, which is good, which means they don't have bad paper. But they also don't have any coating, which means they feather, but they do not bleed unless you force it to bleed. So it's like... Unfortunately, I started with Muji actually. If you're into trying an analog system, yeah. You want feathering paper if you're a concept artist. Actually, the way some concept artists do feathering is not by getting paper that feathers, because they can't control the feathering. They actually get water to move the ink in a way that they want to. Yeah. So it's kind of like coloring. But then again, there might be some artists that actually look for a certain type of paper that does feather in a particular way. So I could be entirely wrong, right? Yeah. But yes, so yeah, Motorola is literally just nowadays, looking at this quote, the portable cellular phone. Now it's just called smartphones. And then we have that quote-unquote iPhone. And Motorola's not really even in the game. They're kind of on the sidelines for it. And Samsung and Google have unfortunately taken a huge step into the mobile game. And unfortunately, LG is gone. LG was my favorite because they actually tried to do innovative things, which is kind of sad. Because they were the only ones who did things well. and then added a gimmick, and then everyone dogged on the gimmick because it wasn't very well baked. And I went, guys, if you just stop putting the gimmick, you probably would get better press and start going like, hey, we have all these things plus the gimmick if you want it. Right? You don't even have to enable it. Like, we have a gimmick, but it isn't required. Like, guys, it makes sense, but sad, very sad. Okay, so we have that there. We are going to do what I said earlier. I'm gonna grab 2 Nixies. The Nixies are, because as you can hear, it's very hollow and it's a lot lower pitch than that. So I want it to match a little bit, and it contrasts a little too much. So we're gonna change this real quick. All right. And unfortunately, I only have. I only have 1 Guns N' Roses switch. Do I? No, that's a Haimu, and that is a KTT Rose. So that's a single Gun N' Roses. Yeah, that's a singular Gun N' Roses. So we're gonna grab 2 Nixies. 2 Nixies, which we have over here. Boom. Ta-da! 2 Nixies. So those are cherry Nixies. Other people call it like an Oreo type switch because, you know, you get the black top and black bottom. Come on, focus, camera, camera. Yeah, black top and black bottom, which means you have. Oh my God, camera. Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay. Which means you have. Okay, yes, we get. Oh, Jesus Christ. Which means it's kind of like an Oreo, like a double stuffed Oreo, but a little higher pitched. So let's give that a go. Hopefully we don't change how it sounds by taking it off. Boom. Well, the switch came with it. So this is the switches we had earlier. These are the Telios switches. So as you can see, they are a teal type switch. Boom. And we're gonna put this in. Really, I don't recommend doing this too much. I think, yeah, that makes it a little lighter. But yeah, no, now it's sticking. I think the issue actually is with the Durox stabilizers in this board in particular. So I think it is bottoming out. What to do? So can I? There we go. Less. Okay. There you go. That's a little bit better. This is actually lower pitched. What? I got a lower pitched switch in there? That is... I thought Nixies were a little higher pitched, but I guess I'm wrong. What else can I try? I don't have extra blue cheeses, which is also a high pitch. Because if you hear the board, that is high pitched, but the moment I put the keycap in... No, actually, that didn't do too bad. There you go. Alright, so we're gonna give this one a go. Pull that out. Move the ear, go to the back. Put this in. Alright. Redo my hair. As you do. Oh my god. Oh no, I went 10 minutes over. But we are just going to do it anyways. 3 and 4. Okay, let's go do this. But yes, technology has moved on and done a lot of things. So we're gonna mute this. Again, we are Mark 65, but this time we have Cherry Nixies as the space bar, and we have the regular Telios switches as the base. So let's give this a go. Naka putting in OT work, no way. Unfortunately, currently I get paid salary, which means I can do all the OT I want. I get paid the exact same. But here's the crazy part. I actually don't mind doing the OT because I don't hate my job. And right now I'm just struggling to keep it together. And I really feel like I've screwed the pooch. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I screwed the pooch for like 2 weeks, maybe 3. Salaryman and not even living in Japan. Hey, look, I'm not a depressed salaryman, okay? I'm not a Japan. In Japan, most salarymen, they're kind of like, work is tiring and not worth living for. And I'm just like, work. The only frustrating thing about work for me, quite literally, is that I keep making so many mistakes. Okay, like I make a mistake and I realize I'm like, oh my god, I have to go back and do it again, and I have to redo half of it. You can come over for late night drinks if you need to talk it out. Hey, look, it's fine if you want to. I don't mind. Honestly, apparently there is a liquor strike right now, so in BC. Since I don't drink, it's one of those things where I go, weirdly doesn't affect me, but I pour one out, I guess, or save it a little bit, for the people who are affected by it. Yeah, very convenient strikes. So not only does BC have a postal office strike, or, but they also have a liquor strike. So it's like, the heck? And apparently, it's mostly just the BC liquor places. And then people started just going to regular bars and still getting their, their drinks. And then they realize most of these drinks are still being brought to the people that are in charge of BC Liquor, but the delivery side, which means even if you went to a pub instead of BC Liquor, you could not get alcohol because you're slowly running out of alcohol at the pubs. You can't get away from it. You just can't. Oh my god, it's just, oh. All right. Let's just, let's go get this coat. Get out of the way, though I don't have to do more overtime than I have to. All right, here we go. Again, this is the Mark 65 from BoardSource, this time with the Cherry Nixies as the spacebar with the Telios switches on GMK Polybius. All right. Damn it! So many. Oh. Damn it. Don't look at chat. No, don't worry. I didn't look at chat. I was just like typing and I kept making. Look at these huge throats, bro. Oh my god. 66.67. Technically 67 words per minute. Sadly. All right. But yeah, actually, I think I like this a little bit better. It's a little cleaner sounding. But I don't know. I don't like how it sounds in too much. I like it better, but I don't like it as much as the other keyboard, which is like poppy. Yeah, unfortunately. Don't know what's more brain rotty these days, 67 or 69. Okay, I might have missed the memo on 67. What is happening with the number 67 in the zeitgeist of streaming and stuff? Because to me, all I remember is the number 69, and when like, KEKW 69 is what I remember. Did something happen with 67? Because I have zero clue. I have zero clue what happened with 67. That is... if someone can explain it to me. I have nothing. I don't know. I can look it up, but... I don't know if I want to know. Do I want to know? With everything going on these days, I want to know. Oh well. Alright, so 67 words per minute. I like this better than previous. Unfortunately, not better than most of my other keyboards. Yeah. Might have to change these out. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Gen Alpha internet meme for teens and younger people. 67 is a nonsensical viral meme that gained popularity on social media platforms. The phrase originated from the song Doot Doot by Skrilla. Oh. It's about being 6 feet 7 inches. What? It's about someone being 6 feet 7 inches. Oh, the humor comes from its absurd random nature, a phenomenon also referred to as brain rot. Wow, brain rot indeed. Brain rot indeed. Huh. Okay. Looks like an ad's gonna start soon. So we're going to talk about this. The source is Life, the Universe, and Everything. And it says, there is an art to flying, or rather a knack. The knack lies in learning how to throw yourself at the ground and miss. What? Throw yourself at the ground and miss. Yes, flying. So basically is aim for the ground and don't hit it. So it's a roller coaster. That's all it is. Up and down. Oh my god. But yeah, no, weirdly enough, when P&E or Pacific North exhibition was open, I went there and I did most of the rides. I got the fast pass or the rapid pass or whatever they call it. And yeah, it's kind of worth it if you were gonna do those specific ones in general. So if you're doing a park run, that is great by itself. Oh, there comes the ad. I'm gonna start the water break. I'll be right back after the water break, aka the ad break. Okay, we are back. Unfortunately. Alright, okay. Life, the universe, and everything. I'm going to start with that. Life, the universe, and everything. There is an art to flying, rather a knack. The knack lies in learning how to throw yourself at the ground and miss. I did mention this earlier. I think cool, I'm just repeating myself. Nice, amazing. Alright. There is an art to flying, rather a knack. Yeah, no, ever have that thing where you know what to do, but you don't know what to do? Like, you do it normally. Like, for example, there was one time where I was trying out for basketball. So I was shooting threes, and I just went, And it was just net after net after net after net after net. And I kid you not, I hit so much just net that everyone was kind of like, damn, this guy knows what he's doing. The problem was, here's the thing, I didn't know what I was doing. I just went, I'll just throw it in there. And it just went, net. I was like, okay, cool, damn. And I went, and then I was just like, throw it in there. Net. I don't know how, but I didn't seem to miss. I just kept hitting the nets. And even the few times I was just like, I hit the rebound, it just goes off the board and just net. Yeah, I to the point that a guy just went like, dude, holy shit, dude, your three, damn, those were some really good 3-pointers. Some really good 3-point. That, oh, just like what? Little did he know, back in high school, I used to do half-court shots. It's so weird. I used to do half-court shots. I never really, got a consistent shot for half-courts, but the fact is I could do them, and I'm the only one that was able to kind of get close. Most people like miss the board half the time, and I would at least hit the board and then hit the ring, and then just it still bounces off. But I was so close almost every time that most people didn't think I would take the shot, but I would, and I would maybe hit them. The knack lies in learning how to throw yourself at the ground and miss. So yes, I think this is actually kind of same with life. The knack lies in learning how to throw yourself at the ground and miss. It's just putting yourself in situations that makes no sense to be in, but making the best of it anyway. I think that's what life, the universe, and everything is all about. Putting yourself in situations where you are effectively learning how to not do a thing, and end up learning how to do a thing in particular by failing at doing the thing. It's so roundabout. It's so amazing. Every piece of life advice is just like, you have to care about things, but also not care. Like when you tell me to care or not care, which one is it? It's both. And you're like, how you care or not care simultaneously. What? And that's the weird part. Learning, life, the universe, everything. It's about opposites. It's about the balance of the yin and the yang. You can be good, but you gotta be a little bit evil when you do it, right? And if you're evil, you gotta be a little bit good. AKA you have to show a mask. And the other one is be like, hey, if you're a dick, just wham! You have to be bad at one point, right? You have to be bad at one point. Yeah. So, there's two sides to every coin. Two sides to every coin. Jesus Christ. Woo! Oh. Holy. What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Okay. Alright, so let me see. Let's push you guys out, because I gotta go to work, weirdly enough. So I have to work. Yeah. There's nobody here. Sure, let's go to Makers and Crafting and see if anyone's in there. There we go. We got 3 different. We have nobody here. Nobody in the what do I read? There's nobody. There's nobody. There's nobody that makes sense. Oh well, unfortunately. Unfortunately, no one that makes sense. So we're gonna just end. Organized chaos. Perfectly imperfect. Thanos had a point. You know what? You're right. I have to end this stream to start tomorrow's stream. So I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow, most likely. And like I said, chances tomorrow we're gonna be photographing the Vanguard 65, which is going to be this keyboard. So take that out. Boom. So this is the Vanguard 65. And that is the keyboard we're going to be photographing tomorrow around, you know, the usual 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to somewhere between 10 and 11. So that's pretty much. All right. Anyways, have a nice one. And Choco Noob, you know what? If you're doing anything, you're watching a movie, I don't mind going out to that place at all because, mostly because I need things to talk about on stream. Talking about no, like straight up, I've been just complaining about work on stream. I'm like, oh my god, I have to live a life. What? I have to live a life outside of like work and stream, bro. All right. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Make sure to have a nice one. Bye. Need all the space, man. Absolutely.